Well, Alabama's a really good football team, a physical team. I thought going into the game really good on defense, and they certainly are. Um, I I don't know if Bryce Young got hurt or if Coach elected to go with Milrow, but if he did, I hope that he's fine. He's a really good player, strong competitor. Um, too many, way too many big plays for them. Uh, not enough for us. Turnover battle was I think, about the same. But for whatever reason, we didn't start well, and then tried to finally scored there right before the half. But we didn't start well. And part of that, I'm sure, is because of Alabama. But um, we have to do better. We have to play better, and we've got to regroup. Last year we lost three in a row and turned out and won four of the last five or five of the last six, whatever it might be. Uh, we got to find a way to turn it around. I know we played two really good teams the last 2 weeks, but we've got to play better regardless of what the score is, what it becomes. We've got to play more consistent, tackle better, convert third downs, things of that nature on offense.
Yeah, Sam, Alabama, I think was 9 of 14 on third downs. How big was that? And they hit a lot of big ones. And that 77-yard run by Milrow, it looked like you had them,
It was huge. I mean, they were down, I think, inside the 20 and 28-23 game, and he went 77, and then they scored a couple plays later and got it back up to a 12-point game, and we didn't answer on offense. And that was a big play. I was proud, I'm proud of the team for the way we came out and fought back into the game. I mean, we were in it. And but that play right there seemed to take a little bit of the wind out of our sails. And we couldn't convert the next time we had the ball. But that was a big play. And then, obviously Gibbs' is run, and I don't think we touched him, so we got to get better. We've got to tackle better. We seem to say it every week, but we got to eat up space better. But on offense, we got to throw the ball better too. We're right now we're one dimensional, and we've got to be able to throw and catch and protect and all those things. It's got to be better because we can't just turn around and hand the ball off and beat really good teams. We got to do better.
At one point, Alabama was 8 of 12 on third downs, finished 9 of 14. Just how big was that in the game?
Well, it's big. I mean, it's either they convert 9 and they stay on the field, or they convert half of them and they're off the field half the time. It's a huge deal, and when Bryce was in there, they were taking us to empty and kind of picking us apart. They running down the middle some post routes that basically we're wide open, that we've got to get better in coverage, and they were big, Bob.
Third down or third quarter improvement this week was an emphasis. What was the key to coming out strong like you did out of halftime?
I don't know. We emphasize so many things. Coach sets up here, and if it works, and says, well, I did this and I did that and I did. We've been emphasizing tackling and covering and blocking and, stuff too. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But the third quarter, we just stayed in here and stretched, and I talked to them. The captains talked to them. It's the same thing that we did at practice, and we ran 20 and ran back. We just changed it up. We hadn't won a third quarter all year, and so we changed it up. And I don't know if it worked or not, or it was because we was down 21. I don't know, but I do know the kids answered the challenge, and that was good to see.
Part of that was the onside kick. Was that something you've had in your bag all season, or a look that you'd seen from Alabama? Or?
No, that's what we seeing it on tape. We felt like it was there, and Bates was really good at it. He had done it at his previous school, and it just seemed like the right time to use it, and it worked, and we went down and scored. So that was a good deal.
KJ got slammed down and
Yeah.
came out for a play and then went back. Can you update us on how he's doing, what you thought of the
I
game?
mean, he hit his head. I don't know. I don't know where he's at, to be honest with you. Obviously, we didn't bring him back in, so I don't know any more than that.
And what about the offensive plan? Because it seemed like you established the run a little bit. Can you maybe talk about what you wanted to do?
Well, I want to run some go balls long on them, and we tried that a little bit, but we tried it later than, but we always are going to try to establish a run to throw play action off of it, but we just we either weren't getting open, or we weren't throwing it accurately, and came off the field. We couldn't stay on the field, and against Alabama, you're probably not going to be able to turn around and hand it 3 times in a row and get a first down all the time, so I was disappointed where I just didn't feel like we threw the ball and threw and caught it, protected. All those things go together well, got open, all those things just wasn't there.
Sam, just curious for your overall thoughts on the receivers today, and just do you feel like you still need that guy to maybe rise up to that alpha role in that room?
Well, I mean, if we're talking about today, I just said, we didn't throw and catch it very good, you play better defenses than others, and Alabama will be one of the best we played, best corners, cover corners, things of that nature. But I think we've got good receivers. I do. Obviously, Warren Thompson didn't play today. He was hurt. But I think we have good receivers. I think we got to go back to work and maybe do a little bit of something different in the quicker game. We did try to throw a stop and stuff a time or two, but maybe something a little quicker where we can take advantage of some slants and some things of that nature.
Coach, how deflating was it? It seems a couple of times, 3rd and 15, 3rd and 18, where you got them in a position where you could probably do something defensively, and then they come up with the big play.
It's bad. I mean, you sit there and you think you're going to get off, and then they make a play. It's very deflating. But that's part of the game, all that. But it's happening too often to us. We got to figure out how to get off the field when we have advantage and with the sticks. And it's not that we're not working it. It's just we're not doing it. And part of that has to do with tightness of coverage. Part of it has to do with area in tackling. Tackling's still a problem for us that we've got to continue to improve on. But it's very deflating,
You mentioned Thompson's hurt. He did dress out. So, I mean, do you think it's not a serious deal? Do you have any idea on timeline for him?
I don't. We thought there was a chance that he could play. Slusher was the same way. We thought that he would be able to play, and he went out there a little bit, but his calf was all tight and all this kind of stuff. But Warren, he just hadn't hardly practiced well at all this week, so we just felt like we'd be better with Keytron and Matt and Jaden instead of chancing him out there, because he wasn't ready.
And also, when KJ went out, y'all went with Fortin. Could you talk about maybe that decision instead of Malik?
That decision's been made for a while, so he's our number 2 quarterback, so we put him in there.
So, Sam, you guys made a great comeback, but Alabama, led the whole way, built a big lead, and they do that on a lot of people. That's kind of their MO. How tough is that when you fall behind Alabama, whether it's you guys or anybody else they're playing? How tough is it to play from behind?
Well, it's hard. We did it the whole game last year over there. It was maybe getting close, sort of like today, except we didn't. They didn't end up having the big big plays in the fourth quarter. Well, we answered them for most part last year. But I don't know.
McKinstry broke a couple of punts. I don't know what was the plan. Did Max outkick the coverage a couple times?
No, a couple times we kicked out of the zone, and one time we had a gunner on the wrong side of the field, and we didn't have a boundary gunner, and ironically, he returned it to the field. So we had a guy over there, but we couldn't make the play. Well, I believe the boundary gunner probably would have been down there and had a fair catch, but we didn't have it. It went the wrong side.
The message to the team at halftime, because you just score, you're gonna get the ball. Did you feel like we can get back in this game? And you did.
Yeah, I felt like we'd get back in the game as long as we believe we could get back in the game. What happens is we've won a lot of games, 12 of our last, whatever it is. And I guess 12 of our last 18 or whatever. But what happens is you got to watch it, because we can't revert back to, when we was getting our butt kicked every week, and you got to watch it because it's hard. We've got to have leadership. That's what the halftime was about, the older guys that need to lead and talk, and I think the captains did a nice job at halftime of talking after I got through, but it was I'll be honest with you, it was just a challenge to go play hard, and show our character, who we are, what got us here, go out there and play hard. And, we had to make adjustments as a coaching staff, but they had to go out there and play hard, and I thought they did.
The decision to try the onside kick there and the execution of it, can you comment on that?
Well, we was down 2 scores, and I just thought it's good timing. I thought it was there. We'd went in it, and we were going to fake a field goal too. And I had called a fake down there when we kicked it to make it to 12, I believe is what it ended up getting to. I'd called a fake. That was a fake, and we called it off. And but I was planning on faking the field goal down there, 4th and 5. I like what we had planned, and as much as I like the onside, but the look wasn't there, so we just went ahead and kicked it.
Sam, I think it was 21-0, and they're knocking on the door again, 3rd and 7. They get an offensive pass interference. And, if you hadn't taken it, they would have had a chip shot field goal, but then you take it and they score a touchdown. Well, what do you remember about that? And is that just kind of pick your poison with those guys?
Were you over there with Nick? Was he gonna kick it, or was he gonna go for it
Well,
on 4th and 3?
I guess I just wonder what your thought process was on that. I was not over there by now.
Oh, okay, because it sounded like you might have been. It was 4th and less than 3, and I thought if we don't take it, that he was going to go for it. And we put him in 3rd and, what was it, 13, 18, 3rd and 13. They scored on us. I don't know, Bob. I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, I thought that he was going to go for it on 4th and 3, and I thought Matt could hold him from less than 10 yards on 3rd down, and who knows, maybe get a turnover, whatever it may be. But I always discuss that with everybody. Say, hey, this is what I'm going to do, and we all agreed that was the best thing to do. They just have us throw a tunnel screen for a touchdown the next play, I think.
Coach, earlier this week, you talked about trying to figure out who the number 2 running back was, pretty even with AJ Green, 5 carries, Dominion with 4. Did today's game help you kind of make that decision?
No. I don't think so. I think, I think Rocket's the guy, and then the other guys are, I don't know that any of them separated from the other guy. I think they're all good runners, but Jimmy may feel different, or I might after I watch the tape, but not right now. I don't think so.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, Bob.
Okay, this is for both guys. Bumper, maybe you could take it first, and then Drew. Alabama, they're obviously really good, but they were 9 of 14 on third downs, 8 of 12 at one point. Just wonder what you thought they were doing to convert all those third downs. And Bumper, it looked like you had a shot at their quarterback on that 77-yard run at the line, and he just made a move. Maybe you dove, just video. But if you both could talk about that play in the third downs.
Yeah, we have to be better on third down. Thought we rallied well as a group. Obviously on that play, should have made it. But we just got to continue to work, continue to, get better at the things that we're not good at. But I was proud of the fight, and we're going to get back in there and emphasize third down, making sure that we continue to get better at it.
Yeah, I mean, definitely proud of how we, fought back there for a little bit, but third down, obviously got to get better at that. But I think for the most part, we did some good things, but, just didn't quite finish them off at the end.
What was the key to y'all getting back into it in the third quarter, which had been a struggle point throughout the first few games of the year?
We emphasized it all week in practice. We made specific periods, about starting the third quarter, changed up our halftime routine. We all got up there and spoke to everyone, kind of said, hey, listen, we got a shot. We got some things, that we can pull out in the second half. And honestly, in the third quarter, that was some fight that you just love to see, especially for, how hard we worked on it throughout the week, but just didn't get it done. We let too many plays, break us.
Yeah, I mean that third quarter coming out at halftime. I mean, we did our job. We pretty much, for the most part, shut them down on defense, and offense was moving the ball great. And that onside kick was huge, and there's just a lot of momentum on our side in that third quarter. And it was just good to see us, battle back from that halftime.
Y'all kept Gibbs bottled up pretty well. I mean, right till the fourth quarter. What did y'all do to limit him? And then what happened on the two big runs?
Yeah, I mean, we knew how great of a player he was, and we knew he's a big contributor to their offense. Shutting him down would limit him a great amount, but those big runs, not 100% sure. Gonna have to go back and watch it, but obviously, just misassignments and gaps, but just little things we get better at.
And Bumper, what you saw from Gibbs today?
I mean, he's a really good back. Thought we did a great job bottling him up for most of the game. In Alabama, they'll break it around you and they can take it to the house, but like Drew said, got to watch the tape, figure out, where we need to improve the most, and continue to move on to Mississippi State.
There wasn't a huge scouting report on Milroe. I mean, I guess not a ton of snaps. So what was the report on him, and what do you think he did after Young went out?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, there was a lot of focus on Bryce Young, but not too much on Milroe. But we knew when he came in that it was to establish the run a little bit more, and we did our best shut that down a little bit. But they got us on a few plays, and he did a great job at establishing the run.
Guys, this doesn't get any easier. You face a big pass-heavy team next week on the road. Your thoughts about how you feel like you guys might, come back from this?
Yeah, I mean, this is a resilient group. We'll have a good game plan going into them. And that's the thing. We just got to stick together. We got a lot of games left. Everyone in that locker room's hurting, but they're not broke. They want to, continue to get better, to continue to work on the things that, we didn't do well today. So we'll bounce back and get back to work.
Coach Pittman pointed out that last year you guys lost 3 in a row before, going on a tear at the end of the season. Just how does that experience maybe help this team going forward?
I mean, every time you lose, you learn something from it. And I think that, over the years, especially, this past year, we've done a really good job about taking that next step after a loss. So, this group is a resilient bunch, and no matter how hard or how bad it hurts right now, we're going to get in there, we're going to go to work, because that's all we know. And that's the only thing that, got us to this point.
Yeah, Drew, I don't know if you read stories. Bryce Young said some real complimentary things about you, about what a great season you're having. I was wondering, what was it like playing against your old team, playing against Bryce in particular, and then you sacked him? Did you guys talk at all during the game or anything? Or what did you think about that sack?
Yeah, I mean, when I'm in game mode, I'm in game mode. I'm not there to make friends. I'm there to play the game. So, I mean, after it was great seeing all the guys, got to talk to them a little bit, but when it's game time, it's game time.
And then for both y'all, Alabama, they jump on a lot of teams. That's why they're Alabama. But falling behind, the same thing happened last year, and you guys made a nice comeback. But how tough is it when they jump out 28-0? Maybe Bumper, you take that, and Drew. I mean, how tough is it playing from behind, even though you guys obviously got back in the game?
Yeah, I mean, you never want to start out like that, but I'll be honest, like, just super proud of the team to come out in the third quarter. A quarter that we've struggled in, to the fact that we could, go out there and rally back. Super proud of the guys, and I'm hurting for them, and so we'll get back in there and go to work.
You got any thoughts on that, Drew? I mean, you played for Alabama, so you know what they do to people.
Yeah, I mean, just the way that we fought back. I mean, I think a lot of teams struggle at doing that especially against a team like Alabama, and I think the way we did it is, I mean, we definitely had some fight in us, and I was just glad to see us fight.
All right, guys, appreciate it.
Y'all got off to a little bit of a slow start offensively. I think punts on 5 of the first 6 drives, Rocket first, and maybe Dalton. What do you think led to that slow start by the offense?
Just really, we're just going out there slow, man. I feel like that first down, we get that. I feel like that start the game off, and that's at the end of the day, feel like just going out there slow. That's what we did, and we're gonna fix it.
Mental mistakes, not as clean of a game as we should have played. Obviously, you can see that from anywhere. I really think that had we come out of the first half with a little cleaner of a game, mentally, it would have been a little better.
For both guys, third quarter had kind of been an issue, but today y'all got back in the game. What was the halftime like? And because you're down 28-0, and then not too after that, it's 28-23. Just kind of what do you think keyed the third quarter turnaround and just the comeback in general?
We worked on that in practice a lot. Just not third down, but third quarter. Just work on that a lot, and I feel like we showed that today.
Yeah, absolutely. We were going 28-7, I think it was, going into half. That drive right before half, I think really was a good spark for us. We showed the tempo and the versatility of what we can do. Going to halftime, adjustments were made. Obviously, like Rock said, we've been focused on it all week. We've been doing what we needed to do. Captains got up, talked to the team, came out, and just exploded like we needed to. And now against a good team like that, you're down 28-7 at half, it's hard to dig out of that hole. And we were that close to digging out of it. We just got to find a way to finish it.
Alabama, they do this to a lot of people, but they jumped out ahead. Even though you guys cut it down, they had a big lead and you had to play from behind. How tough is that against a team like Alabama when you dig a hole and you have to play from behind the whole time?
It's really like when you're playing a good team, a great team like Alabama, it's like when you mess up, it's like they're gonna do something the next drive. And I feel like with us having some messing up, we did. I feel like they came back and they attacked it, and
Yeah,
ain't
like
gonna
Rocket
say too
said,
much.
they capitalize on mistakes that you make. Well-coached teams will do that. We capitalize on their mistakes. I mean, we're a good team. We're a very well-coached team. Capitalize on the mistakes they made, but we made far too many more. And a team like that will take advantage of every single thing that you do wrong.
And when you play from behind against a team like that, like I said, you did for most everybody. Just how tough is that?
We try to ignore the score, if I'm being honest. It's especially from O-line to running backs, that whole offense. It's like, if you start panicking, it only gets worse from there. You start to try to make throws that you're not going to make, or you start to try to really press and do something that you're not supposed to do. And you got to be yourself in a situation like that. You got to go back to your core fundamentals of your toughness, physicality, and your effort. And I think that's in the third quarter. That's what we had to lean on the most, as coach called us out at halftime pretty much. And we had to be a tough team again.
Yeah, Katron, I think he had his best game today. 4 catches, 48 yards, and a touchdown for the second straight week. What kind of impression did he make on you two?
With Keytron, I feel like he always had that in him. In practice, he quiet. In practice, he's quiet and he a go getter. So I definitely believe in him, and I feel like he's gonna have a great year.
Yeah, like Rocket said, he doesn't say much, but his actions speak a lot louder than his words do. And I was very excited to see him have the game he did today, and in the future, against all the future opponents we're about to have in this next stretch, I think he's gonna really shine for us.
This is both Rocket and Dalton. Will Anderson's touted as one of the best linebackers in the country, if not the best. What's it like kind of playing against him and kind of seeing him come into your hole?
Well, with him, it was a blessing playing against him. Of course, we did film just like they did, but I just feel like he bleed just how we bleed, and we human, so that's special.
Yeah, you try to go into it every week with that nameless, faceless opponent, but obviously you've got really all their edge rushers were excellent. They're superb at what they do. They excel at getting off the ball. They excel at playing with their hands really well and even fitting the gaps the way they do. But it's always fun to go against them, because at the end of the day, like, the game of football is about competition, and you want to go against the best competition you can. And it's always, like Rocket said, it's a blessing to go against them still.
Hey, Sam said Cade's been the number 2 quarterback for a while. I know it's pretty limited snaps. How do you guys think he played today? Rocket, maybe you could take that. Just how he's been doing in practice.
I feel like he played with a lot of confidence, and I feel like he always be ready. In practice, I feel like he's a good running back, not running back, but good quarterback. Just reading it, and I feel like he did good, and he was prepared to come out there.
Yeah, he's a very confident player. It's fun to have him back there. There's times in practice where Coach Pitt, he'll just throw him in a 2-minute situation, or throw him in third downs or something like that. Just with the ones, just to give KJ a blow, and B, see what Cade can do. And Cade's excelled every time his number's been called, and he excelled today.
Obviously, you got a tough road game next week at Mississippi State. Just how tough is that? How do you think you guys will bounce back?
We have no choice but to bounce back. Talked about it a little bit last week, but it's the SEC. You're playing in top 25 team every week you're going. And I think our ability, you learn the most from your losses. And that's Coach Pitt's message. We learned a lot from A&M, and we learned a lot from today. And when we get to the film on Monday, we'll watch it probably 2 hours, put it to bed, and then start another hour's worth on Mississippi State. But they're a good football team, and the team's ready to get this taste out of our mouth.
You said everything.
Yeah, Dalton, along those same lines, Coach Pittman said y'all lost 3 games in a row last year and then finished really strong. Can you draw on that experience? Does that maybe help you be able to look back at what y'all did last year?
Yeah, this is still a very resilient football team. I feel like I say it every time we come up here and do this, but it's unique to be down 28-7 at halftime, close that gap. Obviously some plays got away from us in the fourth quarter. We weren't as productive, but the effort and the fight and the strain on this team that A has been put in by this coaching staff, and B we found within ourselves, is amazing. And these losses, they hurt like hell, but you're going to bounce back from it. The sun's going to come up tomorrow. We're going to fix what we can fix. And the rest of the 10 games, or I don't know how many games we have left on our schedule. The rest of the games on our schedule, they're all very winnable games. And we have to go out, patch the holes we have right now, get ready to go, and just attack the week.
It's 7.
7. Thank you. Been here for too long.